Before we get into your reading, I'd like to start by thanking everyone who has liked and commented on the videos, as well as subscribed and donated to my channel. I really appreciate it, you guys. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can find all of my contact information, including my email and social media links, as well as links to my music and podcast in the description below this video. Okay, let's get into your reading. What do we have for Gemini? Judgment. Pluto, Scorpio energy at the foundation of the reading, Gemini. Gemini, I feel as though you have been able to put an end to something. You've removed yourself from something. You've transitioned on from something. Whether this is a relationship in your life, family, friends, romantic, could be a job. Whatever it is here, it's over. You didn't fall for any of their tactics that they used against you to stop you from moving forward. And you haven't allowed any of these tactics to pull you back in to the cycle if you've already moved on. But whatever the case, Gemini, there is an energy here of a cycle is now closed. And you are stepping into a new season of your life. Stepping into a new season of your life is a form of ascension. It's a form of elevation. You've moved on from something that does not serve your highest good in this lifetime. You've self-empowered, and you've managed to see the light and put you and your own needs first, because this is what's truly important when you're on a divine path, which you are on or you're stepping onto. Because you're in this energy of self-empowerment, Gemini, this is when the horns of judgment blare in the heavens, and the energetic realm is now ordered to start releasing karma into these opposing energies' lives. These are agents of de-evolution. They create resistance inside our world. They try to create stagnation in your life and stifle you so you're not able to step on path and go about your divine duty in this lifetime, otherwise known as functioning inside of your purpose, fulfilling your destiny. This is a massive spiritual crime, and the hammers of justice will be brought down. But this is a different kind of hammer of justice. This is of the spiritual kind. The spiritual kind is unseen. You don't know what's happening to you. This is an energy of madness that I'm picking up here for some of these people. I feel like they tried to bring out the shadow version of yourself. So an energy that wants you stuck in your mind, imprisoned by your own thoughts. Eight of Swords energy. So all of the tactics that were used against you will now be brought unto them, plus interest, again, of the spiritual kind. And oh boy, you do not want to be paying back interest in spirit, because that kind of interest can take you an entire lifetime to pay back. Because it takes so long to figure out what's actually happening to you before you actually get it. Oh, this is all happening to me because I have to pay back karma for what I did to Gemini. People don't realize this. They don't see this. They have no idea of the consequences of their actions on the spiritual realm. This is the world we live in now. The more aware we become, Gemini, you and I, the more we start to actually notice this play out all around us. You can see this happening to these people that were in your life creating stagnation. You know what's going on. But it's almost an energy of just keeping it to yourself as well, which is really the way to move, because it's in God's hands now. And it's not your responsibility to try and get through to these individuals what they need to fix about their lives and what they may be going through. What do we have at the sacral, please? Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy at the sacral. It's an energy of giving up. I feel like this is the energy that these individuals are in. It's also an energy of misfortune. They were so focused on you, taking what you have or stopping you from going out and getting yours. So now, this is the karma they have to pay back. All of a sudden, they'll be hitting roadblocks. Money draining out. Just when they think they're about to succeed at something, they lose it all in the 11th hour. That in and of itself is a curse as well. I feel like that's the curse that these individuals tried to bring into your life. Watching you work towards something and then doing things in the 11th hour to sabotage you. I know this energy so well, Gemini. The first 2/3 of my life, I dealt with that energy. They were projections by my own family. They would watch me strive for something very hard, work day in and day out to try and bring a win through. And then something would always happen in the 11th hour, and I dropped the ball. I'd lose. And not only was I back to square one, but I was back to square one with less than I had the last time I was at square one. This went on year after year, decade after decade, until I started to notice that something was off. I started to realize that there was nothing I was really doing wrong. I couldn't understand what was happening inside my life. In the beginning, when this would happen, I thought maybe it was karma. So I accepted that. I took it on the chin, and I kept pushing forward. But as the years collected behind me, I started to realize that there was no more karma, surely, that I needed to still pay back. And the karma that I had paid back didn't constitute this level of failure in my life. This is right around the time I started to have spiritual awakenings in my life. I was begging and pleading to God, please, give me something, give me a win, just give me a fighting chance. I felt forgotten. And then I started to get all these downloads that I needed to change my life, my circumstances, the people around me, all the things that I had never looked at before. So I did. Started with myself, behavioral patterns, my health. The people I spent my time with. Started to look at all these areas, and I started to do cleanup work. Things did start to get better, but no major breakthroughs yet. But I felt something getting closer. And then I started to look at the common denominators, the people that had always been in my life since day one, the people that always knew the steps I was taking in my life. And I just had these major epiphanies. I started to be shown things that I did not want to accept about these people. I refused at first, couldn't believe it. But then I decided to take a chance, go my own way, carve out my own path, and cut off from all these people, family members mostly. And because I'd spent so much time in that energy, fighting for my life in some capacity, fighting for a chance, I was given a win very quickly after, I cut people out of my life. Very close family members. Gemini, it was almost like it was overnight. Well, realistically, it was a couple of months. I just started to see massive growth. My life started to go on this trajectory upwards, and there was only a couple of people left. So I took a leap of faith, Gemini, and I cut those last couple of people out, and that was it. I was free, and the rest is history. I've never looked back, and my life has been on a steady trajectory upward ever since. This is what I'm getting right here for you, Gemini. These are very hard truths to come to terms with, but a lot of you do come to me, wondering what's holding you back, why you're failing in these certain areas. And these stories I hear, they're too common, because I've been through similar enough to have a good idea of what may be going on in your lives. So sure enough, I do personal readings for some of these people, and messages come through. And there it is. We see exactly what's holding these people back. They do the work, and boom, everything changes. This is what we have right here, Gemini. This is exactly what's inside your energy. Some of you may have already moved on from some of these energies, and you are seeing steady progression in your life. But sometimes we need to be reminded where we've come from and what we've had to endure. Because when you're in a winning season of your life, you have a tendency to forget what some of these individuals put you through. You have a tendency to forget the darkness that you had to go through to get to where you are now. And that's another thing I understand. I look back on my life now and everything I've had to endure up until this point, and it most certainly feels like another lifetime, as if it never happened. This is called timeline jumping, Gemini. When you start to feel this way, and you're functioning inside this energy of purpose, it's because you've timeline jumped. Everything in your past starts to become fading memories. A lot of the things that these individuals may have put you through, slander, lies, gossip, all this stuff, it fades into the ethers. People just start to forget the wickedness spoken on your name, things like this, Page of Swords kind of energy, the gossip, the lies, the slander, because you're reprogramming people's minds whilst functioning inside your purpose. People just start to forget because your success becomes all-consuming. People start to push all that negativity to the back of their minds. They almost feel ashamed for having ever thought about you in that way. Simply put, Gemini, your success is forcing people into shame, making them want to forget about all the wickedness that they brought to your front door, however that shows up for you. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Wow. Six of Swords, Aquarius energy at the solar plexus. A lot of these people want to come to calmer waters with you. They're hoping you've forgotten or you just don't care anymore because you're now succeeding in your life. Gemini probably won't care now. You know, they're doing really good. I'm sure they're not focused on what I did to them in the past. And this may be true, Gemini. But it's very important that you understand that these individuals can't be a part of the equation that equals your current success. They have a very specific energy type. Well, it's narcissistic in nature in that it feeds off of you. It takes more than it gives. It has a draining effect on your solar plexus. It's almost as if you feel powerless or inferior to these energies. There's something parasitical in nature about the way these individuals show up in your life. It's of the utmost importance, Gemini, that you keep your sights directed in front of you. Do not look back. It's not your responsibility to help any of these individuals. And I do feel, for some of you, this may be how they come to you. An energy of wanting you to take pity on them. An energy of, I didn't know, Gemini, I didn't know what I was doing. Some cases this may be true, because narcissism is a form of possession. People are so disillusioned and drunk off their own need for power, they don't see the error in their ways. But again, it's not your problem, Gemini. What is your problem is if you stand in the way of judgment working in these individuals' lives. For them, receiving karma that equates to the horrors that they brought into your life, well, that's a blessing for them because it puts them on the straight and narrow. And although most of these people won't get it right in this lifetime, hopefully they will in the next. But either way, there is a form of evolution that is trying to unfold in their lives. And it's very important you do not stand in the way of this. You have a mission, and you need to stay very forward-focused and keep charging forward. Six of Swords at the solar plexus. What do we have at the heart? Hangman, Pisces energy at the heart. And this speaks about what I was just saying, this energy of letting go. Understanding things from a higher perspective. Understanding how the universe is working in these energies' lives. We always hear about judgment and karma and all this stuff, and we think that this is horrible and these people are going to have to suffer and this and that. But we often forget what that leads to. It leads to awakening. It leads to getting on path. It's essentially the divine reprimanding these individuals. We are like children here. The universe, God, the divine, our parents. We must get in line and do as we're told and get to the lives we want to get to. Our happiness, our abundance, our 10 of cups, our 10 of pentacles, whatever it looks like for you. The divine is trying to help us all get there. But you don't get there by gallivanting around, acting a fool, and trying to destroy other people's lives and stifle them from working inside of their purpose. You have an understanding of all this now, Gemini. You see things from a higher perspective. You know enough now about the mechanics of the universe and how it all goes down in the ethers. It's a lot easier to live a life of purpose and happiness than it is to live a life of misery and de-evolution. I was born into a family of karmics, people who were walking the left-hand path, people who, by spiritual definition, are all under some form of possession. A demon is a form of possession. How does someone become possessed? Well, it's not hard, Gemini. It all comes down to how you live your life. How you live your life is based off of the behavioral patterns that you utilize inside your everyday waking life. How you choose to live, how you choose to act, how you choose to treat others. We always hear, oh, that person's an angel. Oh, that person's the devil. And this is very true. These behavioral patterns that these individuals have subscribed to are demonic in nature. You see, this is what I was born into. I didn't even know any different. I was just surrounded by demons. So for the first portion of my life, I just followed the influence around me, not knowing any better. But there was something different about me, and I always knew this. Even from a very young age, I never felt right living a certain life. I always felt something inside of me telling me right from wrong. The universe parenting me from within is really what it came down to. I can't tell you how many times the authority in my life, let's just say that, would tell me to do things a certain way in my life, and then there was this inner voice telling me, no, don't do that. That's ridiculous. And this is when the black sheep is born, Gemini. You start defying what you're being told, much like I did, because you know it's not right. You know there's something wrong with this influence you have around you. Now I know, on my path, that I was sent into a coven of demons to expose and eradicate that energy from that particular family lineage. This is the path of the black sheep. This is what I'm picking up here for you as well, Gemini. It's a big idea. They're very profound concepts, and there's a depth to what I'm picking up here that most people couldn't possibly begin to understand unless they're living it. But you understand what's going on, Gemini. It's very important that you keep allowing that inner compass to guide you. Keep pushing forward. You know right from wrong. Don't allow yourself to remain stuck and stagnated by these energies because they make you feel like you have to appease them. You have to seek validation from them. Nobody who's meant to be in your life, Gemini, should allow you or require you to ever seek validation from them. Think about that. And think about how many people have actually asked that of you up until this very moment. Countless, right? Always feeling like you have to work for acceptance, work for validation. This is a program that runs inside of the matrix, inside the simulation. Some of us fall victim to this, and this is how we waste our lives, trying to seek validation from people who are vibrationally beneath you and have been assigned to you by the darkness, by the devil, to keep you off your divine path, as well as stop you from fulfilling your mission in this lifetime. What do we have at the throat, please? Temperance, Sag energy at the throat. And there it is, exactly like I just said. This is representing your divine path, your purpose, this energy of meaning that surrounds you. This is you in alignment, walking by way of your divine guidance, following your inner compass, otherwise known as your intuition, the channel between you and Source. Truly, the only thing you need validation from is really what it comes down to. We have this GPS system inside us that tells us what we need to do and where we need to go. And then external to us is everything that wants us to move opposite of that. The devil, the devil's very crafty, very detailed, very sophisticated, and very technologically advanced, and knows just what you like, Gemini, and will send all of it into your life to stop you from following your inner compass. But once you've crossed over the threshold, it becomes just about impossible to continue with this behavior any longer. You've seen light. You understand how this all works. You've witnessed the lie. Big emphasis surrounding self-control and moderation. For some of you, this could have to do with behavioral patterns, addictions, things that were keeping you trapped inside the simulation, the matrix, tools they used against you, alcohol, food, drugs, cigarettes, whatever it is. I mean, this is what all these things are. They're just little goodies that the devil uses to keep you trapped inside the simulation. It's not for everybody. Some people can have a few drinks and you're fine. Others, you can't. It's just an overall energy of knowing where your weaknesses are and eradicating these things from your life so you can get pushing inside your purpose. It's very important you know yourself, Gemini. All of us, every single one of us, no matter how awakened you are, have weaknesses. We all have our Achilles heel. We all have a form of kryptonite. It's very important you know what it is and you steer clear of that, Gemini. They really want me to emphasize that in this particular reading here. Because 100% of the time, success is going to be found in the overcoming of whatever these things may be for you. A lot of the time, it's people as well. People you have to overcome and leave behind. It can really be anything. So just take it as it fits. What do we have at the third eye, please? Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, energy at the third eye. Unbelievable. This is you being very honest with yourself about everything I just said. Knowing what needs to go and not folding. Energy, I just heard playtime is over. I feel like some of you Geminis have been surrounded with people all your lives who just think life is one big party. You're just seeing people getting older, their health decaying, and none of them have evolved. None of them have changed. They're doing what they've always done, and they expect you to do the same. No growth anywhere. I'm picking up on people who are still acting the way they did when they were 17, 18. But these people are 30s, 40s, for some 50s, 60s, whatever it is. Could be even be 70s. I feel like a lot of you Geminis have been surrounded by people like this. None of them ever change. None of them ever evolve. And you're starting to see that that's the path that you were essentially expected to walk as well. Queen of Swords at the third eye. This is you being very honest with yourself about your reality, your external environment, and no longer putting up with any sort of BS because you know what must be done and where you need to get to. Lovers, Gemini, that is your energy at the crown. This is an energy of alignment, and that is the perfect card to end this top row at the crown. All of this leads to your alignment. This energy of overcoming right here. This is crucial. This is the final ingredient to pull this off. And see how there's one bird here? I feel like that's you, Gemini. Right there. Flying solo. You understand that this particular path you have to take must be traveled alone. Could represent how you need to move in the spirit as well. Whatever it is, it's just an energy of great overcoming and ascension as a means to head towards an energy of purpose, to fulfill your destiny and live the life you were always meant to live. You fly solo to find where your new home is, Gemini, where your new tribe is, where you settle once you've transitioned on Six of Swords at the solar plexus from this particular energy. What do we have at the foundation, please? Too many cards. What do we have at the foundation? Ace of Pentacles, Lucifuge, Raphakal. Right underneath that Judgment. So this top row is the basic narrative. This is what's going down, Gemini, in your energy. These next few cards are negative polarities. So this is the energy that they were utilizing against you to keep you stuck. So I read this as Ace of Pentacles in its detriment. It's an energy of delays of the monetary kind. Something having to do with materials. This also represents that energy I was picking up of sabotaging you in the 11th hour so you miss out on opportunities, which in turn can affect your money. It can create monetary delays in your life. This is what this represents. And this is what they now have to pay back. This is the demon of materialism and monetary delays. This is the demon that takes opportunities from you. And this demon right here is no longer able to collect that from you like it was promised. So now it's showing up on Judgment Day to collect from these individuals. This demon needs to be fed, Gemini. It's very hungry. So now it's coming to feed off of them. Frankenstein's come home. What do we have at the sacral, please? Ooh, King of Cups in its detriment. Alistair. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy with that Ace of Pentacles. Energy of manipulation. It's also an energy of emotional abuse. Right at that sacral. Overactive sacral energy. I'm picking up just very manipulative, overly emotional kind of energy. I'm seeing Eight of Swords again in my mind's eye. It's like an energy of being stuck inside your own thoughts, inside your own emotions, thinking there's something wrong with you, and not putting it down to the fact that it's something in your external environment, these people, and their negative projections. It takes a while to see this, like I spoke about earlier on in the reading. Typically, these energies will unfold in a way where it looks like you're self-sabotaging yourself. On the surface, this would very much be true. However, it's all based off of the negative influence and the projections around you. And this is what this King of Cups is representing. I just heard, for some of you, this is going to be somebody around you who's watching you work really hard towards something, and then say in the 11th hour, you're really fighting for whatever this is, right? And you say something like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can pull this off. And rather than the energies around you encouraging you, like, no, you're almost there, just keep going, they fill you with failure. They project failure onto you. Yeah, Gemini, you're probably right. I don't think you're going to pull it off. You're probably wasting your time. I don't think it's for you. You know that feeling. We've all been through it. That demon on our shoulder in the 11th hour, right? When we're just about to have a breakthrough, but something comes through. Something wants to sabotage us, and we're looking for every excuse to give up. This is an energy I haven't felt in a very long time, Gemini. It makes me very sad, and it makes me very angry, picking up on it in this reading, because I'm starting to remember this. This was a very common theme in my life. I had one person in particular around who was always encouraging me to give up and to fail at something when I needed them to just give me a few words of encouragement, when I needed them to push me over that finish line, right? Like we all do, a good friend, a good authority figure in your life, a good support team. But no. Instead of instilling the encouragement, Gemini, they tie both your shoes together and they watch you fall flat on your face. This is what this energy represents right here. And Gemini, the sad part about this is when this happens, you never see it for what it's worth. But once you move on from this energy, eventually God will give you the download and you'll look back and you'll start to see it clearly. You'll start to see the truth. It's very upsetting when this happens. It takes succeeding in your life to have truth surround all the failures. You start to look back. I wonder why I didn't get here sooner than I did. It's so crazy. It's so weird. It seemed like it was so easy to accomplish this. You start to look back and you start to see the common denominators. It's typically those people. It can also be behavioral patterns, substances, things like this, addictions, food addictions, whatever it is. But a lot of the time, it's going to be people. And a lot of the time, those people are also the ones who put you on the path and support you in those behavioral patterns, in those addictions, in those poor choices regarding your health. And yes, you must always take responsibility for yourself, but a lot of the time, you need to look at your environment, because that in and of itself is taking responsibility for yourself. Taking responsibility for yourself is getting to the core of what's creating that particular blockage to begin with. And 90% of the time, it's going to be some sort of outside influence. And when you see this, it hurts, Gemini. It really does. It hurts. It's very upsetting because you start to wonder why. How could anybody do that to me? How could my parents do that to me? How could my sibling do that to me? But eventually, Gemini, as time goes on, you'll actually start to be grateful because the level of success that you're heading towards required you having to go through that particular cycle in life because you needed to be the keeper of that particular wisdom to sit on the throne that you now sit on or are heading towards. And sitting on a throne in your life is just you being the best you can possibly be in this life cycle. You are the king or queen of your life. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Knight of Wands. Bathing right there at the solar plexus. Wow. Knight of Wands and its detriment right next to this King of Cups. This is like a spiritual war that I'm looking at here, Gemini. These are some of the most demonic, evil energies that you can possibly have come up next to each other in a reading. King of Wands in reverse is somebody that will use you and abuse you and leave you in a gutter to bleed out. This is a very reckless, chaotic individual. This is somebody who's coming into your life to scatter your energy and leave you in ruins. For people dealing with romantic relationships, this is the person that will come into your life and leave you with a permanent health affliction, if you know what I mean. It's the kind of person that will wound you in a way to where you can't move on. You're stuck. You're trapped. And typically with the Knight of Wands, it's going to be in the form of something having to do with your health, a disease. This is what this energy represents. And it's right underneath this Six of Swords. Exactly what I was saying, trying to stop you from moving on. Wants to attach something to you that makes you feel powerless so you can't move forward. Aries, Leo, Sag energy with that Knight of Wands at the solar plexus. What do we have at the heart? What do we have at the heart? Wow. Agiris, immorality, Leo energy. Immorality is exactly right. Exactly what I was just saying. Energy of obstacles. Something challenging that you can't move on from. It's also an energy of discord and conflict. Again, an energy of chaos. And it's right there at the heart. This is what you're seeing clearly now. God giving you the eyes to see. Universal vantage point kind of energy. Removing yourself from your current set of circumstances, zooming out of your life and looking at things through the eyes of the universe in order to make a well-rounded decision on how you're to move, Gemini. Jaleel, Two of Wands, love and wisdom, Aries energy, and there you are. After you've looked at your life from this universal vantage point, checking to see if you're even alive, checking your pulse, looking a little bit tired, in a state of disbelief. How could they put me through that? I don't understand. How can anybody be so evil? Life's so weird. Life's crazy. It's like a spiritual battle. Everything that surrounds us in our waking life is just an illusion to distract us from the spiritual battle that's taking place. Two of Wands stacked with Hangman at the heart. It's exactly right, Gemini. It's exactly right. You're now seeing the truth. You understand how life truly functions, and you understand enough of what you need to be doing to start pushing forward. This is also representing you in the future looking back, like I was saying, right? Just kind of analyzing things. It's upsetting. But it's all a part of the healing. This is a part of the wisdom, love and wisdom. What do we have at the throat, please? We're going to take both of these. 10 of Swords at the throat. Wheel of Fortune, Metatron at the third eye. And now, Gemini, we move into the outcome. So we go from demon to angel into the angels. Demons, right here. This resistance, what's taking place on the spiritual plane, the resistance. And now we go into how your life will be looking on the other side of this. 10 of Swords. Gemini, that is your energy. Luia at the throat. The marvelous God. Revelation. Protects from sadness. Gives revelations in dreams. Pay attention to your dreams, Gemini. But this is you sealing off this karmic cycle. And now all of them looking, right? There's all their eyes. Wonder what Gemini's up to. Wish we could go over there with Gemini. Wish we could be a part of that new life cycle that Gemini's in now. They look like they're really doing good over there. That 8 of Swords energy I keep seeing in my mind's eye. It's like everything they tried to utilize against you to imprison you in this energy is now wrapping around them. I'm seeing a spider in my mind's eye, wrapping something up in a web, suffocating it. It's like these energies are now suffocating in their karma. The spider's web kind of energy. They've trapped themselves in their own web. Web of lies, web of deceit, and web of illusions is what I just heard. Wheel of Fortune, Metatron, Sag energy at the third eye. The recording angel. Advancement and progress. Teaches, guides, and records events in the book of life. This is you now stepping into this new life cycle, fulfilling your destiny, having held this big picture vision over your life this entire time, but now on the path to making this a reality. There's an energy of great good fortune here on this table, Gemini, because of everything you've overcome. This is a given. This is the cycle that leads to this, the cycle that you must close out. Seal off the cycle. Receive the Wheel of Fortune. Right underneath that Queen of Swords at the third eye. Accepting the truth. What do we have at the crown to close out the reading for Gemini, please? Wow. 3 of Swords, Libra energy. At the crown to close out the reading. Rahel, the quickly forgiving God. Love and submission. Cures illness, influences paternal love, gives long life. And there you are. Closing out the karmic cycle. Covering it with a boulder. Putting your boot on their neck, metaphorically speaking, spiritually speaking. Driving that sword through the stone. And closing this chapter in your life for good. Healing and recovering from the heartbreak and the loss. healing and recovering from this previous cycle and all the losses that you had to overcome, Gemini. Now stepping into a timeline that's full of healing, beauty, abundance, blessings, good fortune, good luck, and only looking back to further understand what it is you've overcome. Gemini, this is the energy that's available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Gemini. Take care.